Hey guys, welcome back to Previa Podcast. This is Sarah.
And Whitney.
And we are in our holidays. So this is Hey Whitney Holiday Edition.
Hey.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, Hey Whitney. My uncle and I have opposite views on politics and life. He'll always try to start an argument in front of a crowded room. Any tips on how to avoid this? Seems like Uncle probably baits her, probably loves the big crowd.
I'm going to assume this is Aunt Brenda's husband.
I would say so.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's one of those, he is seeking it out, is what I'm understanding by the way this is written.
It appears he's seeking controversy. He's seeking
like
polarization. He's seeking the drama.
Trying to stir the pot.
It's
not like they're talking and all of a sudden we're in a heated discussion.
No.
He kind of does it intentionally.
It seems like he knows her triggers or her hot topics, and he will probably pounce over, you know, the cranberry sauce.
Got it.
And let her try to see where she goes.
Gotcha. That's kind of what I was just, I guess, clarifying in that, is making sure that he is intentionally doing this. It's not just, oh, we had a conversation, we've got differing opinions, boom, now we're in an argument.
It really seems like this is a pattern.
Okay. So with this, as, you know, maybe jaded or not good as this may sound, avoid him. Like, make sure there is that physical space and distance. Not saying you can't be civil, you can't say hello.
Right.
But depending on how, like, the layout of the house is, like, if you know that he's going to sit at the table that's in the kitchen, maybe you go sit at the table that's in the dining room, vice versa. Try to create that space as much as you can. Now, if he still pursues it and is very kind of intentional or intent with doing that, just say, you know what, Uncle Bob, I'm just really not okay talking about this right now. Let's just enjoy the holidays.
Yeah.
If he continues to do that, just say, okay, I know that you really want to talk about this. We need to find a time outside of the holidays to talk about it. If you keep pushing me, I'm going to leave, because this is not how I want to remember Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it is.
Right. So just really set those physical boundary and then like conversation boundaries. Yeah. Just because someone says something to you, you do not have to respond.
Correct.
And that does not mean you're weak. You're actually stronger. You're not taking that bait.
You're picking your battles.
And that's okay. We all got to pick our battles.
Yeah.
And especially in already a stressful season.
Yep.
And if you have kids, you're trying to get pregnant, whatever it is, you got that extra on you already.
That's right.
I mean, in general, talk about religion, politics. Yeah. It's just sometimes best to, like, let's not add to it.
Correct.
When we've already have internal family issues, we don't need to just bring out more. Because people are so divisive now, and they're like split.
I hate to say it, like, our devices have made us so confrontational and confident.
Oh my God, the keyboard warriors, right? Who are
so chances are Uncle Bob over here, he probably really loves to get in the comment section on social media. He's got an opinion about everything. And you know what? We can all have opinions. We can all have our opinions, and our opinions may differ, but I can still be respectful.
Exactly.
That's all we're asking for, is respect. And if he's not willing to give that, then you can leave.
Or I always say, you know what? I really need to go grab a drink. Would you like one? I'll bring one back. You know, or to say, hey.
Are you slipping something in his drink, Sarah?
I thought about it. No.
The way you said that, I was like, what's coming back in that drink?
You know. You never know what you got to do here.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. But you're going to be, I think knowing that this is ahead, it's good. And if you're listening to that, you're like, oh, I don't think I have to deal with that. Well, in case you ever do, you now know to set those boundaries and just say, hey, I want to enjoy this meal.
Right.
Let's have this conversation another day.
Exactly. Like, we can set up a day and time, and we can talk about it, and we can be civil about it.
Yeah.
However, Christmas or Thanksgiving or Hanukkah get together, like,
we're not going to do that.
We're going to do that.
We're not going to do that. And that's okay.
And also, I don't want my kids to witness that.
No, and that's the thing.
Like, I want my kids to see healthy conflict, healthy conflict resolution, and problem solving. I don't want them to see me and my uncle going head to head on something.
And you, like, fix it a stabble with a fork. I mean, we just don't need that.
No.
So I think that we're all going to probably encounter something.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are already on edge during this season. I mean, road rage.
Right.
I mean, we're all at our tipping points. So this is not surprising.
Yeah.
But I think she'll be good. Set your boundaries and tell your uncle another day, another time.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, Whitney. My mother-in-law is insisting that my son soon-to-be born son call her mom.
No, ma'am.
I wish I was kidding. She sees nothing wrong with it, and I know this will come up during holidays. Help me shut this down. I don't know.
I'm a little floored just because, and I understand this as your mother-in-law wants your son who's not born yet to call her mom.
Exactly.
And not you, mom.
Uh-huh.
I would just tell her that you understand that she wants to have her own special grandma name.
But mom ain't in it.
But mom is not it, that you are mom.
Uh-huh.
And that if she wants to be mama, sure. She can be grandmommy. I mean, anything like that. But
Gigi, what?
Yeah, Gigi. My mom is honey.
Grandma,
we got a
whatever you want to call her.
Like, just her being called mom is not okay. And here is one where I would actually get your husband to help you. Because I did see this where it talks about if there's conflict on your side of the family, you go address it. If there's conflict on your husband's side of the family, he goes and addresses it. And I really do agree with that because we do know our families better.
We do.
And so they are more likely to listen to us. We can have those conversations. We can have that reconciliation. So I would talk with your husband and say, you know what? I'm not okay with your mom being called mom by our kid. That's just not appropriate. And have him come in and do that. Now, if she comes to you and says, oh, so-and-so said that you didn't want your son to call me mom, I don't see the issue with it. And that's where you may have to be firm and assertive, not mean, but firm and assertive and say, that's accurate. I am not okay with that. It goes beyond just a discomfort.
Feels ancestral.
Yeah. Well, and it's an overstepping of boundaries. It's inappropriate. And that, if she wants a special grandma name, that's fine, but it's going to be a grandma name and not mom, mama, or mommy. It's not. No. Nope. Shut that down. And here's the thing. If it comes up after baby is born.
Because you know it will.
You know it will. Nip it in the bud then and there.
Yeah. The only thing I had experience with this was my mother-in-law had said, my baby, how it's my baby.
Yes. Oh, that drives me
nuts. I said, you're 40-something, 6'7" baby?
Eh.
I said, he's okay. You can call him.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? I said, no. That's not your baby. That's my baby.
Correct.
Your baby is a grown man. And she's like, oh, I didn't know you didn't like that. And I was like, no, nope. I don't like that. It didn't rub me the right way. Probably didn't handle it the right way. But,
it is what it is now.
It is what it is. So I think when it comes to your kid, you grew, you delivered. Mm-hmm. You have the right for what that child is around, what they call people, who they see. And I think it even goes to this. If she ain't gonna respect you,
yeah,
then you have a right to say, if you're not gonna respect my wishes and boundaries here, it puts pause to how we going to continue this relationship.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because then it goes into, it's a little thing, right? She may be like, oh, it's just a name. But it's like, what's if your kid has an allergy later on, right? Mm. And you're like, I do not want her going to X because of this peanut butter allergy. And I know this is there.
Correct.
And she takes the kid. Or what if it's like, don't do X?
Yeah.
And she pushes it because she doesn't respect your boundaries.
Yeah.
So start early. And stand strong on that one. And Godspeed, friend, because
that's a terrible situation to be in.
And your husband needs to nip it.
Yeah, get his help, get his support.
And and other families should be saying no,
because you can even say that you wouldn't want your mom to be doing that. That way they understand that the playing field, it's even.
Yeah. Okay. No. All right. On to a different one. Hey, Whitney, my baby's only 2 months old. I'm not ready for her to be passed around or honestly in large crowds.
Fair.
Any tips to navigate this? I mean, so we are at holidays and our babies that have just been born. RSV
season.
RSV is,
it's
NICU
scary.
Babies. Even if you're not NICU, I mean, especially if we're early, we're compromised medically. Germs, colds, it's
exactly.
It's so much. So basically a common cold to us
Can be worse.
kill
Mhm.
a baby.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not being extreme. You're not being whatever here. So what I did is I just didn't go when Will
I was about to say.
I just didn't go, and I said my pediatrician
Mm-hmm. recommended
we do not be allowed around large crowds in
Correct.
small spaces. During COVID, we all had a good excuse.
Mm-hmm.
We were isolating, but then even after that, we still kind of hung on to that.
Yeah. And it depends on your comfort level. Like, how big are the family get-togethers? Is it you, your significant other, and like your parents?
Yeah.
Is that a crowd that you're comfortable
Versus
enough
like
with?
30 people.
Exactly. It depends on your comfort level. So if it's a smaller of like 6 or less people, that's when you set the rules of you have to be well for 2 weeks. Do not kiss the baby. End of discussion. No wiggle room. Do not kiss my child. Do not kiss them on the face. Do not kiss them on the head. Don't kiss them on the back of the neck.
Don't kiss them on the hands because what do babies do? They put it in their mouth.
Don't kiss their feet.
No.
Because even if you have an older baby that can actually get foot to mouth, you don't want that to happen because they're still going to have a weaker immune system.
Yep.
So figure out, are you okay with a small get together? Set the boundaries of no kissing. Set the boundaries of you have to be well for 2 weeks. If you're going to hold the baby, you have to wash your hands.
So say you have to go. I did this trick with James.
Yeah.
You got to go. You don't want to go.
Yeah.
It's fine. Baby wear.
Oh, yes.
Put that baby on you.
Yeah. Get you a good wrapper, a good carrier.
And so because people see babies and their instinct is to grab, it's to touch.
Drives me nuts.
Especially older generations. They want to hold the baby, pass the baby. I remember I had somebody tell me, "Oh, we've passed all your cousins' babies." And I'm just like,
it's different.
It's different. It's great. Fine. But you're not mine.
And also I'm a different person. I'm not them.
So I baby wore. And it just was like, I did have people be like, "Are you going to take him out?" And I was like, No, I'm not.
I don't have to.
And if you're out in public, I will say this is a trick too. If you keep on the car seat, you baby wear, they make these little signs. You can make your own.
Oh, yeah.
That says, "Do not touch.
Your germs are too
big for me." Put that sign because people are crazy. They'll come out in public and try to touch your baby. I mean, just like when you're pregnant, they'll try to touch your belly and they don't know you.
Thank
That's
God
weird.
for COVID in some ways, because that was one thing. My first baby was not a COVID baby. And I remember vividly being at the grocery store and this old lady came and just started rubbing my belly.
Isn't it weird?
It is, because I don't know that lady. Still to this day, don't know her name. And I just looked at her and I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I just can't help myself." I said, "Well, you need to."
It's called a physical boundary.
Exactly. No one asked you to do this, especially me, because I hated people touching my stomach.
I had patients do that when I was still bedside nursing pregnant. And I remember one day I specifically stepped way back because I saw his hand. And he's like, "I just need to feel your aura." And I said, "No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir." And
That's my aura.
And so I said, "Excuse me." And I stepped out of the room. And I brought back one of my male coworkers. And I was like, "You're just going to be here present for this because we've already," I said, "You're not going to touch me.
Yeah.
And if you do it again, then I'm removing myself from this situation."
Correct.
But it was wild.
But then COVID hit and no one touched my belly in public. And then we had one of those little canopies that went over the car seat.
Everybody loves little canopies. In the winter, it's great. Now, in the summer, babies can overheat.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't, she was an August baby, but if I'm in the store with the stroller, nobody would just come up and lift the canopy. But if I didn't have the canopy,
they would peek.
They would get all up in there. And so if it is a temperature controlled, canopies are a great way to kind of have that physical barrier for so many reasons.
I mean, you just cannot assume people have common sense.
No.
Especially when it got.
We can assume they don't have it.
So don't feel bad. Set your boundaries. Baby wear if you have to go. Say no. Blame it on your pediatrician. Mm-hmm. If it's your husband's family, your boyfriend's family, your partner's family, have them say,
"Yeah, we're not okay with this. We have to protect our baby.
It is RSV season. We're not comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. We will catch y'all in the new year."
Or, again, break it down into smaller groups. If
we'll
y'all
FaceTime
are okay with
you.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say, know that however you handle it, you ain't wrong.
Correct.
So, and if someone has an issue with that, that's on them, not you.
Yes.
So do what's best for your baby because no one else is going to do what's best for you and your baby but you. Okay. Hey, Whitney, I have a hard time saying no. Holidays, I find myself running everywhere and realize I'm not serving anyone or myself. Any people pleaser help?
Apparently, I submitted this question.
Did we write this?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently.
I could tell her about her childhood too if she would like, but we won't go. Well, that's another
We'll
podcast.
save that. That's a different episode. So I feel this because I do have a hard time saying no. I am a people pleaser. I know that.
We both are.
I mean, I'm well aware of my faults with that.
We're trying to work on it.
Yeah, working on it. It's progress over perfection right now.
Uh-huh.
So with this, ask yourself, do you really have the capacity to do something? Do you have the physical and mental capacity and energy to do something? Now, I get it if it's at work and you're given another assignment. That's kind of a different ballgame. If we're looking at extras like Christmas parties, can you do a PTO thing? Can we bring this and this and this? Or stuff like that. Ask yourself, do you have the capacity for it?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? If you don't.
I can tell you half the things I did last season. I was like, I don't want to do.
Uh-huh. When my husband was at church as a youth minister, I felt like they owned our calendar for the month of December. It was miserable.
Yeah. Well, the schools own your calendar, in this whole month, and between early dismissals, class parties, plays,
all the things,
work
and heaven
parties.
forbid we get notice.
Yeah, no. So saying no feels really hard at first.
It is hard
because it's against like how we're ingrained.
Yeah, but again, ask yourself:
Yep.
do you want to do this? Do you have the capacity for it mentally and physically? Think of it almost like a budget.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have a budget, let's just say you're going to go buy a new car. Your budget is $25,000.
Let's not go looking in the 50,000s.
Okay, exactly. Why in the world are you going to go look at this top of the line luxury vehicle that's $75,000? You don't have the means for it. And so ask yourself the same thing when it comes to holidays and going and doing. Do you have the means for it? Do you want to do it? If the answer to either of those is no, then just say, I'm so sorry, we can't make it. I appreciate the invitation.
Yep.
You don't always owe somebody an explanation. You could just say, we can't make it.
We have a conflict.
Exactly.
And that's
okay.
That's okay. Because
we can't be all things to all people.
No, and guess what? Everybody's going to have a conflict during this time. Like, I'm sorry, but they are. And that's fine. And also, like, your conflict can be your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay.
It might make your anxiety go through the roof.
There's some situations during the holidays that for sure make my anxiety go through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
No.
So you don't have to. So the first thing is looking at yourself, looking at budget, your mental health, your time, your abilities, and then realize saying no is okay.
Exactly.
Saying no to something is actually saying yes to something better.
Correct. Yes.
So if you need to reframe it and be like, oh, this no feels so negative.
Right.
Like, rest.
Well, and especially in the South, we're always taught to be there for others, to serve others, to do all the things.
But
and so no doesn't feel like something we can do. We don't feel empowered to say it and do it. But remind yourself, again, if you don't have the capacity for it, you are allowed to say no. And the more that you say no and recognize your own personal boundaries, the more empowered you will be to say no in the future.
It'll get easier. I mean, it really will. It's like you got to put your mask on before you help others.
Right.
So you're saying yes to you having a better you. You're better for your kids, your spouse, your work, whatever.
Exactly.
So reframe. And it takes progress. The holidays are hard. We all feel under pressure. Yeah. Okay. Last one. Hey, Whitney. Holidays are always triggering to me after my oldest was born on Christmas Day in a traumatic fashion. I noticed the whole lead up. I felt off. And no one understands it. And I get this.
This is hard.
I still feel this way. I've been open about this, about my kids' birthdays.
Right.
And then everybody's like, oh, they're turning older. What you guys do?
Exactly.
And like, I'm just like, gosh, it's a really hard time for me.
It is. Yeah.
So I can't imagine for like, Christmas.
Where it's in your face.
It's in your face. And it's in your face for so long. People start playing Christmas music after Halloween.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
Here comes the lights, here comes the Christmas. And this mom, it's her best day, but worst day of her life.
Yeah.
I'm taking it her or her child probably almost died.
Yeah, it sounds like that things were very imminent.
Uh-huh.
And so to this mom, you really need to give yourself time to grieve.
Yeah.
Because that labor and delivery didn't go how you thought it would.
It didn't.
If there was, near-death experiences, you do need to grieve that. You need to grieve that maybe your child has health complications now after delivery, or a developmental delay, or that Christmas always feels kind of tainted.
It does.
Or stained
Yeah.
because of this. So give yourself time to grieve. Christmas doesn't always have to be happy and joyful the way it's honestly marketed to be.
It is marketing. Let's go back to it. This is a marketing. This is a consumer.
It's all about propaganda.
Driven money.
Yeah.
To us to feel expectations of perfection and for us to make the magic.
That we got to go big. Go all out.
It's a marketing scheme that social media has taken to the 100th factor.
So to this mom, I mean, definitely during the month of December, but very specifically on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I know we have a million things going on here I am adding to your to-do list, but I really need you to get up like 10 to 20 minutes before you think your kids are going to get up. I need you to take that time to grieve, to process.
To cry.
You know that it's a hard day anyway. There's already going to be the sensory overload. There's going to be overstimulation. There's going to be all the things.
Yeah.
So give yourself 10 to 20 minutes of quiet to process that. You desperately need to process that.
Because, I mean, I can tell you from personal experience, if you don't process it, it will constantly come up. And I've processed it. I did EMDR therapy for trauma. I mean, I had traumatic births, and I still, your body doesn't forget. So, like, it's even like you feel more tense, you carry that, and seek out professional help.
Absolutely.
I would say if you're not in therapy, get in therapy.
Yeah.
Schedule your therapist leading up, right after. And don't expect other people to get it because they don't.
They won't.
And I think I looked for validation for how I felt from other people who had no idea what I experienced.
Yeah.
And it felt
from people who couldn't give you that empathy and validation.
It felt really shameful and dismissive, and it wasn't their intentions.
Yeah, no, not
it wasn't. It just they couldn't relate. So you're going to have to go through this process.
Yeah,
and
it's not a pleasant one.
No,
but we can call a spade a spade. You can be prepared that it's not going to be pleasant.
Yeah,
take that expectation off yourself that you're going to sail through the holidays unaffected by this.
Yeah, I think
you should be affected.
How could you not? Because if you're not, then I'm going to say there's something bigger at play that we haven't addressed.
Yeah.
So just know too, and I think now I'm at a point where I know certain dates are going to be hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
My family knows.
Yep.
My friends know, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. Like I've accepted it. I don't try to make it go away.
Right. But
I've done the work, and I never forget going through the trauma therapy. It felt like reliving the trauma because you do in the process. So you almost, I get the hesitation because you don't want to go through it again because it was so bad.
Exactly.
But you have to go through it to put it away. So again, seek out help, take time for yourself, call a spade for what it is. It's a hard season. And it doesn't even just have to be a traumatic birth. Like it could be the death of someone. It could be a divorce. It could be an anniversary of anything that was a car wreck. It could be you remember a hospital admission, something from your childhood.
Absolutely.
Holidays
or
just
that Christmas
highlight it.
Doesn't look or feel like how you thought it would. Because honestly, when we get older and we realize that we're the magic makers, sometimes we get a little jaded with Christmas and we don't enjoy it like we did when we were kids.
Yeah, because we're the ones doing it. So all these are valid, and we're all going to go through something similar. So we hope this Hey Whitney is insightful, helpful. Keep sending us questions. You guys can DM us on Instagram, our Previa Moms. You have a direct link to Hey Whitney on every email and inside your dashboard. So till next time, guys.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Maternal mental health is as important as physical health. The Previa Alliance podcast was created for and by moms dealing with postpartum depression and all its variables like anxiety, anger, and even apathy.
hosted by CEO, founder Sarah Parkhurst and licensed clinical social worker Whitney Gay. Each episode focuses on specific issues relevant to pregnancy and postpartum. Join us and hear how other moms have overcome mental health challenges, as well as access tips and suggestions on dealing with your own challenges as moms. You can also browse our podcast library and listen to previous episodes at any time. Please know you're not alone on this journey. We're here to help.